Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. So today I'm going to be sharing the secret of multiplying my succulents. You might have seen this earlier as well, all of these stem cuttings. As you can see the size of the pups. Now these are almost 7 to 8 months old. I'll put the picture of how it looked earlier. I think I do have a picture because I had made a video on it, how to take care of the remaining part of the stem in the soil. So they have been like this ever since and they have been growing. I had done a few cuttings. I had taken up some of the pups. So these are the remaining ones. You can see these were the remaining. Now the soil is little dry because I haven't watered it. But you can see the size. Now this is Graptoveria Purple Delight, Graptopelaum Purple Delight. You can see the pup size, and this is where the cutting was done, the stem cutting. So this is the pup. This is Graptoveria Marpin. I think this is also Graptopelaum Purple Delight. I'm not very sure. So you can see how well they're doing. These are all Graptoveria Marpin. You can see the size of the pups. They are already 2 centimeters in size, so I can go ahead and trim them off. So I'm going to take out these pups and then I'm going to move these cuttings to a better pot so that it can be much easier. Right now they're looking very shabby. I can leave them as it is, but I want to maintain these stems because these are the ones that are giving me a lot of pups. So I thought that I'm going to move them into another pot wherein they can grow much better, and it will look a little bit more tidy because you can see they are looking very untidy, but you can see the amount of pups. Again, this was Echeveria which I had done stem cutting. You can see this is where the stem was cut. This is Luella, again a stem cutting, and now there are a lot of new pups. You can see this, a lot of new pups. So I thought that I'm just going to move them after cutting the pups. I'm going to move them into another pot. Now the reason why I'm deciding to cut the pup before putting them into another pot, because in case if something goes wrong, in case if the stem starts to rot, at least I have the pups saved. So that's the reason why I'm first going to cut the pups and then move it to another pot. This pot I'm going to leave it as it is because these are mostly my sedums, Adolphi, which I had done cuttings. You can see now there is a lot of new growth. These were all the cuttings. There is one Graptopelaum. I think this is Graptopelaum paraguanis. I think, I'm not very sure, but this one I'm going to leave it as it is. But the rest 3 pots I'm going to move the stem in one pot so that it can be much easier. So this is basically like for me it's basically like growing some vegetables, like you grow vegetables and you pluck out the vegetable and then you let the plant produce some more vegetables. I feel somewhat similar to that because I keep cutting the pups and they keep generating more pups, so it works out really well. And the best part what I like about this is it's much faster than leaf propagation. You can see this is already 2 centimeters. If it was a leaf propagation, this would have taken at least another year or so. So I feel this is much better. Let me show you the pot that I'm going to move it in. So this is the pot that I'm planning to move all the stems so that I can have all the stems in one pot. This is a little longer pot, so I can fill in as many stems as I want, and as and when I want to do the pup separation, it will be much easier. So this is the pot. I think this must be around I'm not very sure. I think it must be around 4.5 to 5 inches in depth. So I'm not very sure how deep it is. Let me check. I have my scale right over here. So this is okay. This is approximately 10 centimeters in depth. So I'm going to use this. I'll have to refill. I'm going to use the same soil from these pots because I'm not going to use this pot again. So I'm going to use these. I'm going to use this pot for something else. So I'm going to use the soil into this, and let me finish up all the work. It's going to be a very messy work, so I'm going to fill this up with soil and then I'm going to show you how I'll be adding the stems into it. Once everything is done, I'm going to get back to you and show it. So before moving the stem into the other pot, I will quickly take out and cut off all the pups that are at least 2 or 3 centimeters so that in case if something goes wrong with the stem, I still have the pup with me. But the ones that are smaller than 1 centimeter, I'm going to leave those pups on the stem as it is. This is a precautionary method that I'm taking, because in case if I'm going to place this with the stem, in case something goes wrong with the stem, I might lose the pup. So if the pups are of a good decent size, I'm going to separate them before I move it. So give me a minute, I'll quickly find my scissor. I will sterilize the scissor and then I'll show you the cutting. So the scissor is all ready. Now I'm going to separate the pups from the stem. Let me show you over here. As you can see, the stem and the pup, there is hardly any stem on the pup because it's just growing on it. So we have to be extremely careful, and as close as you can get to the stem, just give it a cut, and that's it. So this is the first pup we have. Take out the dry leaf, and there we go. We have our first pup that we have separated from the stem. So I'm going to continue cutting all of them. It's the same process I'm going to do for all of these pups. So I will quickly start cutting the ones that are slightly larger. You can see a nice beautiful pup. Cut this one as well. And this one looks like it's 1 centimeter, which is absolutely fine. It will definitely root. The leaves are very plump. You can see the size of the leaves. They are completely filled with water, so they will not get dehydrated. So this is what I'm going to do. It will take another few minutes because I still have to cut this one and then this spot. I'm not going to do any cutting on the sedums because I'm just going to leave it as it is, because I'm not going to change this spot. I'm going to leave it as it is because these tend to grow like crazy. So I'm not going to do any kind of shifting, because sedum Adolphi is not very finicky about the soil. They are absolutely fine with whatever soil you give them. So I'm going to keep this spot aside, and I'm only going to cut the ones that are very precious to me and which are in very limited quantity, like this Echeveria. I have a little bit of them, not much, so I'm going to do all of the cuttings. So I'll get back once everything is done. I will show it to you. So these are how the pups tend to look like. They're of a good size. Don't worry about this powder. This is just pumice or perlite powder that is there. I do not use any artificial root hormones. I just use cinnamon powder. This is just the white powder that is there left back from the pumice or maybe perlite, one of them. So I'm just going to keep this aside, and I'm going to do rest of the cuttings and I'll get back to you. So guys, this is how it looks like. I have transferred all of the stems in this large pot. It is looking slightly messed up, but it will take some time for them to recover. I'm not going to be doing any watering right away. Probably I'll wait for another 2 to 3 days and then do a little bit of watering. But so far I'm quite happy. All of the stems have come in this pot. So this is going to be like a harvest kind of a thing, wherein I'm going to let the pups grow on the stem. Once they reach 2 to 3 centimeters in size, I will go ahead and separate them from the stem without disturbing the stem, so that they can concentrate on putting out and pushing out more pups. So far it looks absolutely fantastic. I have another 2 of these rectangular pots. Again, I'm going to collect some more stems and start moving them. I will definitely make an update video. I don't know, this is going to take another let's say 7 to 8 months for everything to fill up once again. So once this is all full, before I go ahead and separate the pups from these stems, I will definitely make a video, which is again a very long time that's going to happen. But pretty happy. It looks a little bit more organized than what it was earlier. Now I can concentrate on the pups much easier. As you can see, this was much it was much messy, but now I think this looks much better. Right now they're only stems, so it looks a little bit haywire, but once they start growing the pups on them, they're going to look absolutely beautiful. So that's all about this video. I am doing a lot of stem cuttings for a reason, because I'm working on a very small project which is going to happen very soon. Again guys, I'm going to keep you updated about it because there is a lot of work still left. So these are all the cuttings that I have been doing. Let me move this. So these are all the cuttings that I have been doing. These are just kept for air rooting. Most of them have calloused and even have put out roots. As you can see, this is the smallest one that I have. So I'm just waiting for the project to start. I need a lot of soil for that project. I will keep you guys updated. It is a small little surprise, but this is how the things are working. A lot of them do still need to put out roots, but majority of them have already started to put out the roots. These are my Sedum Adolphi cuttings as well. The reason where I'm going to be keeping these, there's going to be a lot of sun. So I'm just selecting certain succulents that can withstand a little bit of sun. This is my Echeveria Riga. This was completely damaged in the container, but I managed to keep it alive, and now it's doing quite well. A lot of stretching had happened on this, so I had to cut off. I had to behead the succulent because there was a lot of stretch, but now it's looking much better. As you can see, it's a beautiful succulent, gets a lot of freckles on it. It looks extremely beautiful. So I'm just waiting for them to root, and then I can put them into the soil. So these are all of my succulent. This one I'm not very sure. The seller told me this is called as Zulu. It does not grow very huge. It stays, the mother plant grows up to 3 to 4 centimeter. That's all. It does not grow bigger than that. I'm not very sure what variety it is. The seller had told me it's called as Zulu or Zoro. I think Zulu, I guess. So even this has started to put out roots. So I'm pretty excited. Let's see when the project comes into picture. I will definitely keep you guys updated. I would require a lot of succulents, so that's why I'm just preparing all these cuttings well in advance. So by the time the project is ready, I have my succulents rooted. So these are all the pups that I have separated from the stem before repotting them in that rectangular pot. They look absolutely beautiful, very healthy. I have added some cinnamon powder, as you can see, because there were some mealy bugs. So I've added some cinnamon powder. This is going to keep the bugs away. It's going to repel the bugs. Apart from that, it's going to help in drying of the cuts faster. And it's going to take a while again for them to root. So once they root, I will then put them in an arrangement and keep them aside. So guys, I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.